What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. Be sure to look at some of my previous videos from this past school year. And that's how I'm going to open it. I am so excited to get into this video. If you've not read the title of the video this week, we are having a TeachersConnect collaboration video, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. There is myself that's going to be a part of this collaboration. There's Tawnya from Smartie Style. There's Megan from Too Cool for Middle School. There's CJ with the Reynolds. There's Fernanda from That One Happy Classroom. There's Thesleepyteacher. There's Thekinderheartedclassroom. There's Kindergarten. There's Teacher Inspiration Station. So there are so many fantastic YouTubers, teachers that are a part of this collaboration. I'm super excited to be a part of this as well. So the title of this collaboration is Reaching Your Students, and there are going to be 6 different questions that I answer with this collaboration. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so as I said before, this is a TeachersConnect collaboration. So if you don't know what TeachersConnect is, TeachersConnect is an online community made by teachers for teachers. It's for collaboration, it's for asking questions, it's for answering questions, for being mentors, it's for being a mentee. It's just an online place where you can find just about any and everything that you want. And I've actually also made a video about TeachersConnect, and I will put a tag right there just so you can kind of go back and see what I've said about TeachersConnect already. All right, guys, so we're gonna start with question number 1. And question number 1 is, what strategies do you use to reach and or motivate your students? And then which works best? So, I do a lot of different things in my classroom. I'm going to start off by telling you how I reach my students, and then I'm talking about how I motivate my students in the classroom. So, reaching my students, I start day 1 off with morning meetings, with daily check-ins, with just pure honesty in my classroom, but in that sense of community. I think doing all of those different things are big ways for a teacher to reach their students and really gain their students' trust to be able to share with them their lives. So we have morning meetings every day, and I let them have, I call it turn and talks, where they have 2 minutes to talk to someone next to them if they have something that they want to share. And during that time, you know, I'm just kind of floating around listening. I'll put into my 2 cents if it's something interesting. And I also have kids coming up to me during that 2 minutes if they want to share something with me. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But we use part of our morning meeting time for that. I have daily check-ins where I just walk in. I walk up to different students throughout the day and just, you know, hey, how's your day today? How's it going? How are you feeling this morning? What emotions are we feeling? And just really trying to understand, you know, what's going on the inside, and being able to verbally talk about that, and just knowing that, you know, I'm a person that you can trust and that you can talk to. If we have any issues, I'm always there to help you and get you on your way. But that's how I kind of reach my students. And one more thing that I said was honesty. I'm very honest. I'm very transparent with my students. I always talk to them about my emotions. I'm feeling this way right now, or I feel like this right now, or oh man, I'm so frustrated at this, or oh, that just made me so happy. So I'm very transparent with my kids about how I'm feeling, about what I think about different things, about what I see, about what I hear, how they're treating each other in the classroom. So I'm very transparent with that, so that way they know that they can be transparent with me as well. So those are different ways that I reach my students. There are actually more ways, but we'll get into it actually in some other questions, and I don't want to give too much right away. Those are just a couple of ways that I reach my kids. So now we're going to get into how I motivate my students in the classroom, and these are just some different classroom management strategies that I've just picked up along the way. They're not anything new or innovative, But I do just want to list some different things that I do. So one thing that I use the most, and one thing that my kids love is positive reinforcement and verbal praise. My kids are the biggest attention seekers that I've ever had in my life. They literally fight for my attention. But I do try to use that to my advantage for when I see something that I love that they're doing, or when they're following directions the first time that I ask them to do something. They love it. They feed off of it. They're so egocentric that, oh my gosh, it just fills their buckets up. And it overflows. But positive reinforcement and verbal praise is something that I always use all day, every day. I also have a token economy with tickets in my classroom. So whenever I have kids participating, whenever I have kids, again, doing the right thing, when I have kids that listen and follow directions the first time, that's another way that I have to motivate my students to show those positive behaviors. And then with that token economy, they're able to take those tickets and trade them in for different things. So if they have 3 tickets, they can trade that in for a treasure box. If they have 5 tickets, they can either move their clip up, or they can eat lunch in the classroom with me. It's their choice. So I do try to give a little bit of choice with that. And then the last thing that I do to kind of motivate my students is using flexible seating in my classroom. Now, I see a lot of people, just going all out with flexible seating. I actually went all out last year with flexible seating, and my kids last year loved it. My kids this year are totally different from my kids last year. And even though they loved it, they can't always handle it. So I do use that flexible seating as a privilege and not a right. And when I see students that are doing the right thing, when I see students that are showing respect, responsibility, and doing the right thing, I use that as another incentive to motivate that student to keep doing that behavior, as well as motivating other students to show that same behavior and get that same reward. But that's how I reach and motivate my kids. And the second part of that question is what works best. I will say I can't really say which one works best, but I do use those in conjunction. And throughout the day, I notice that there's always some type of strategy that I use in my classroom that can motivate every child in there. So using various different strategies to motivate students and using all those together, I'm bound to find a way to motivate my students in the classroom. So I can't really say what works best, but I say putting them together works for me. Then question number 2 is, how do you reach or motivate difficult to reach or misbehaving students, and do I have any examples? So I have a very, very different dynamic in my class this year than I've had in the past. I know I've talked about this before, but I have so many kids that have so many big personalities, but those personalities at the same time are so different that there always seems like they're clashing. It always seems like there's some type of incident. It always feels like there's some type of argument or just something that's going on between a group of kids. And my way of fixing that, I'm trying different things. Number 1 is separation in the classroom. I always make sure that, if there's an issue with 2 students, that they're not near each other. I do a lot more daily check-ins with them throughout the day, just to make sure that, we're continuously going over expectations in the classroom and what we should do, and how we can get those positive reinforcement, how we can get that verbal praise, or how we can get that token economy, how we can get to that flexible seating, how we can move our clip up on the clip up chart. So I'm constantly talking to them about what can we do to show that we're doing the right thing. What can we show to get that clip up? What can we show to get this? What can we show to do this? So I'm doing a lot more of that. I also keep in contact with those parents. I try my hardest to give them kind of daily reports on how they're doing. If we had any issues, I tell them what issues that we had. When a child does have an issue, we always have some type of conference about it, whether it be what was the instance that was not okay. I'd never tell a child that they're being bad. I never tell a child they're misbehaving, but I do let them know, hey, the choices that we're making aren't the best choices for us right now. What can we do next time to make sure that we're still doing the right thing, or what can we show, what actions can we do instead of this, so that way there's not a consequence for it. So I do a lot of that, and it's just I don't know what else to say, but that's me individually, what I do. Now, I do also have a lot of other people that I can use for support. My team, we always come together when we're at that point where we want to pull our hair out. You know, I always take some of mine, well, not some of them, but I always take one that if I'm just at my wit's end, you know, I just tell them, you know, I think we need a break. Let's go to Mr. So-and-so's room. Let's go to Miss So-and-so's room. Let's just have 10 minutes where we just have a break from each other. And then same for other teachers when they're kind of at their wit's end. You know, they can send that student to my classroom. They can send that student to another classroom. And that's kind of like a break for the teacher, just like, okay, let me calm down. And that's also a break for the student because it's a change of scenery, it's a change of teachers, change of students, and it's kind of like, okay, I get my break, let me calm down so I can go back to my room. So teachers on my team, we support each other in that way. We also do SRSSs, which are student risk screening scales, which teachers rate their students on externalized and internalized factors that relate back to behavior. We have check-in, check-out systems for those kids where they meet other teachers, where in conjunction with me doing check-ins, talking about their day, there are also other teachers throughout the building that are checking on them and talking about their day as well. And then our guidance counselor and our counseling team pull for small groups for various reasons. They might have a small group with handling anger. They have various different small groups that they pull for with that. But those are just different ways that I try to reach and motivate difficult or misbehaving students. Question number 3 is, how important is it to know each student's backstory? If important, how do you get to know them? I, for one, am big on learning as much about a student as I can before they come to me. I don't want to be shocked. I don't want to have any type of surprises when a student comes to me. I want to try to know as much as I can, and then if there's anything I can do to be proactive to give the students a good first grade year, as well as myself as a good first grade year, I'm going to do that. The way that I do that is, number one, because I'm first grade teacher, I have the luxury of being able to go to a kindergarten teacher and discuss that child with the kindergarten teacher. And that kindergarten teacher can tell me about how they were academically last year, how they were behaviorally last year, any type of issues that they had with the student, parent involvement, whether that parent was very involved, whether that parent was non-existent. But I love going to teachers and seeing their experience from kindergarten and then seeing how the kid acts in first grade and kind of comparing that. Also love to talk to parents about about their students' backstory. So I do give out questionnaires to parents every year at the end of the school year, just stating, you know, what's your child's favorite subject? What's their least favorite subject? What do they like to do? What do they not like to do? What would you like your child to learn this year? And is there anything that you would like to share with me? And I use that as the parents' time to let me know of anything that they would like for me to know. And then again, also get it from the students with those daily check-ins and with those morning meetings. You know, kids tell a lot. Whether they mean to or not. And yes, we as teachers need to take a lot of that with a grain of salt, but that's one way to learn about a kid's backstory is by letting the kid talk to us, and you know, just whatever they want to share, just let them share. Question number 4, can relationships with parents help or hurt? How, and do I have any examples? I'm going to be a little bit more generalized with this question. I always try to start off my parent relationships as positive. From the first time that I call them, I actually do call parents before the school year, just let them know that I'm going to be their child's teacher. I'm super excited to have their child in my classroom. I can't wait to meet them. And then also tell them, a little bit about me and what to expect this school year, and then get some important dates and things like that. So just right off the bat, try to start off with that positive message of, being super excited to meet them as well as their child. I also, during the first week of school, love to try and send notes home through their take-home folder, through Dojo, through email, just to tell them that how their child is doing so far in first grade during that first week. And then I always try to keep them in the know academically with how their child is doing. Now, whether that parent wants that relationship with me or not, that's totally up to them to decide. I have parents who I talk to on a daily basis. I have some parents who I try to contact and I don't get anything back from them. So that's totally up to the parent with if they want to keep that relationship open or if they don't want anything to do with me. That's totally up to them. But I do always try to reach out when I need to. But I will have to say I've never had a parent relationship that hurt my views of the parent or my views of their child. I've never had a parent relationship that kind of burned bridges between me and that parent or me and that child. I certainly have had issues with parent relationships in the past, but I always try to take it in a professional light. And what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, that child is their parent's baby. And their main goal is to just make sure that they're getting everything that they need. They might not explain that in the best way, but they just want to make sure that we're doing everything they can for their child. And one thing that I always like to do is, even if me and the parent have differing views on things, because yes, there are some times where a parent tells me that I need to do something, or that I'm not doing something the right way, or I need to do this more or this less. I do like to check them and let them know that in a professional way, that we're in this together. We're playing the same ball game. The same thing that you want for your child, I want for your child as well. There's nothing that I would do to try to hinder your child. But I do like to pull out data to back me up and give reasons as to why I do what I do. And, if we have to just agree to disagree, that's what we just have to do. But after all that, I still try to end our conference or our conversation on a good note and just let them know, hey, we all just want, what's best for the child. And at this time, this is what I think will help them out the most. And a lot of parents do end up respecting that, whether they still agree with it or not. But I've never had a relationship hurt me mentally, physically, emotionally, nothing like that, or hinder the relationship on my side with that parent or with that child. I don't try to let that change my perception of them at all. Then question number 5 is, have you ever planned to see students outside of school activities? How did it go, and do I have any examples? I've been to plenty of different outside of school activities, or as some people call it, extracurricular activities with my students. I've been to basketball games, I've been to baseball games, I've been to football games, I've been to soccer games, I've been to dance recitals, I've been to choir concerts, I've been to tons of different things. And I've got to say, it's something that I love to do, just because number 1, it lets me see the child outside of a school setting. And number 2, it gets me out of the school setting. Number 3, the parents love seeing me there supporting their child. And again, seeing me outside of school supporting their child really, really shows a lot about how much I care about their child. And then just seeing the student just so happy. I always love it. It's always a fun time. Win or lose, everyone that's involved, me, the parents, the students, we all end up having a great time. Just having me there is great in of itself. So absolutely love to go to them. And like I said before, that builds that positive relationship with parents, that builds that positive relationship with that child. And then last question is question number 6, and I'm going to kind of tread this on a little bit lightly, is can you develop a platonic relationship with a student that is too close? And this is how I'm going to tread this. I'm going to tread this very lightly. And all I'm going to say about this with this question is all teachers, regardless of sex, regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of all that, every teacher needs to be cautious about how their relationship with their child, with their student, is being perceived. For me in my district, we always have different meetings about being precautious with our students. And that goes as far as, make sure there are no child sitting in your lap, make sure there are no children, in your lap area. When a child comes in for a hug, you can give a hug, but, just kind of make it, a little bit more open, give that side hug, making sure that you're not with one child by yourself. Always make sure there's at least one other person with you. Don't go in the bathroom with a child or anything like that. And that's where I'm going to leave it, because there have been instances in all levels of education, elementary, middle, high, secondary, where when a teacher is not cautious, there are certain things that happen, whether it turns out to be true or not true about what a student has said has happened. It all negatively affects you, whether it's true or not true. So always be cautious about your platonic relationships with your children, because sometimes what actually happens might not be perceived in that way. And also, when you take those precautions, you would not have an issue with having a platonic relationship that is too much. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. All right, so those are all 6 questions. I've answered those to the best of my ability. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. Hopefully, you agree with some different things. And I'm just a first-year teacher, and I'm just telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to add, anything you would want to say, put it in the comment section below. Also, make sure you check the description box, because I've put links to everyone else's videos, CJ's, Megan's, Fernanda's, Latonya's, everyone else's videos who is in this collaboration is in the description box below. Also, if you'd like to join Teachers Connect but you don't have an account, if you don't know how to log on, there's a link in the description box below for that as well. Make sure you look down there, and it is a link that will take you to Teachers Connect. It's a simple, super easy login. It's free, and again, it's Teachers Connect, made by teachers for teachers, as a way for you to collaborate with other teachers around the world, whether you need to ask a question, whether you'd like to answer a question, whether you'd like to be a mentor, whether you need a mentor, whether you just need to vent. That's what Teachers Connect is here for. And if you'd love to join that, make sure you look in the description box below to sign up. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for sticking with me to the end. I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.